Okay, so Aries, you're dealing with an air sign again. Once again, I've been seeing for about 3 months now. So this is interesting. Okay, and you're also in the upright position. So I feel that that lesson has been learned and you're moving forward and rebuilding. So it's looking very good. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's see what's going on. I'm actually going to pull out 2 more cards here just to see about this tower situation. Okay, so I am doing this reading on in the reverse position. So this is something that you've dealt with, and that's why, like, this is potentially a very painful card. However, in the reverse position, it does indicate that, the healing process has begun. And at this point in your life, you still feel the sting a little bit, but it's not going to hurt you as much, okay? Thinking back on it is going to be a little bit still like mentally it's still hard to overcome it, but in your heart you know that this is a situation that you cannot go back to, and because of it you have found closure within yourself in the way you handle the situation or in the things that transpired, so to be problematic moving forward. You do have a lot of air signs in your life for a lot of you. So air signs are Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra, and for some reason I've been seeing it for a few months now. And you're dealing with somebody who's got their guard up and who's just first of all, it's fire and air. It's a very combustible type of energy. Without air, fire can't really expand. And so it's sort of like the other party feels as if they're doing a lot of the work to maintain the relationship, whereas you feel that you're doing a lot of the work. So it's basically arguing over imbalances within relationships. And at the same time, there are definitely value system or issues regarding family planning, issues regarding like there's a very strong element of family, how to plan for a family, how to like rear a child, differences in like customs in the generational gap in the way people approach motherhood, fatherhood, parenting in general. So there's that element coming into play, coupled with the fertility card in the reverse position. So I do feel that there is definitely a cultural difference or even a values difference regarding what is, like what is the right gender role, how to be a good mother, how to be a good father, what is expected of, specific gender roles. So this is a very family oriented type of spread. And at the heart of it, we have like the silver lining here, in which, you know, both sides love one another tremendously. Okay, so whoever it is that you're dealing with, rest assured that there's a lot of love coming from you. There's a lot of from you to them. There's a lot of love coming from them to you. But being able to see eye to eye with one another, that's the hard part, and that's something that is going to require a major shifts and major compromises from one party or the other. So something is coming in here regarding child rearing, regarding like family practices, family planning, even, or lack thereof. There might be like unexpected pregnancies for a lot of you, or somebody in your family might be a little bit too young and they're trying to, they're not able to raise a child on their own. So everyone is like chipping in and talking about, maybe she, or telling, giving their opinion about what this person should do with their body. And they're doing it from a place of love, but I do feel that it's none of their business, and ultimately it should be left up to, this person and his or her partner to decide what it is they want to do with that situation, okay? So aside from that, I do feel that this is an ongoing debate. It happened in the past, and you've agreed to disagree, or at least you've come to a compromise. But then for this month is coming back in, is rearing its head again, and a big discussion needs to be had. So what I'm sensing here is, don't be alarmed by the tower, because I do feel that you're going to be in a good place. So this is more than anything because of the sword energy, is which indicates communication, ideas, and even, it's a king energy, so it does indicate compromises in a belief that you hold true, and or somebody is compromising, somebody is starting to come along, and I do feel that someone is making a great compromise, a great sacrifice in order to appease you, because I do see the king and the queen energy here is, somebody who is holding their ground. They're not budging, and at this point they're kind of like laying down the law, or they're at least stating up front what it is that, they want. So the king of wands and the queen of wands are representative of you. Okay, so you're kind of like sitting back, and you have already established your boundaries with other people. You have already told them what it is that you need and want out of this interpersonal relationship. And especially like for those of you who are negotiating salary increases, for example, you are stating once and for all, I've done a lot for this company. I have delayed, my child rearing years, or I have invested my child rearing years, the best years of my life, and I've worked for you. I've done above and beyond the 9 to 5. I was always there when the company needs me, so this is what I deserve. And when you're able to put your foot down, that's when the other team will realize that, the other side will realize, like, this is it. This is the deal breaker type of month in which, they need to decide if they're willing to accept your terms or to proceed without you. And I do feel that a lot of you, they are going to meet you halfway, okay? Because you're sitting in a very firm position right here. And more than anything, in the upright position indicates to me, in general, that whatever it is that you're demanding, you're not overstepping your boundaries. It's not like you're demanding the world of somebody who can't deliver. You are within your rights to demand these things because you deserve these things. So it's not like you're even taking advantage of a situation in which a company or a lover really needs you. You are stating up front what it is minimally that you deserve and that you need in order to progress forward. So it's a good energy. It's important to assert yourself, and I feel that you're doing it in a very logical, in a very like fair and even-handed manner as well. One other thing I do feel here is that whatever this conflict is, it's going to end in a very it's going to have a resolution for this month. There is something kind of like brimming up, coming to the surface, and something is going to get resolved. It's definitely going to have a resolution, and I do feel it is going to be in your favor, okay, because of these two cards. So towards the end of this month, like possibly the last 2 weeks, from the 16th until the 31st or so, I do feel the energy dissipating, and you both are kind of like picking up the pieces, and you have decided how to move on. But in the process of moving on, you're kind of like testing the water a little bit, and you're trying to like sit back to see if the other party is willing to, I guess, put words to action. So they might have promised you, I'm going to give you a salary increase starting now. I'm going to give you a personal assistant, and then you're waiting, you're assessing, exactly when that's going to come into the picture. Or if it's your relationship partner, and you both have agreed that, oh, I don't want kids, and this is something I don't want, or I do want kids, and the partner is not seeing eye to eye with you on that, I do feel there is going to be a moment of truce coming through in which you both can at least figure out what it is that you want to do. so that you can like unblock this stalemate and move on. And you're kind of sitting back and waiting for them to come through with concrete actions, okay? And how it plays out, I do feel, is kind of like to be determined. But I do feel in general it is going to be in your favor because, you know, like I said, you're kind of sitting pretty here. And I do sense as well, if this is a complaint of your partner, okay, this is for a very specific group of Aries, male or female. If your partner has been complaining about, you know, lack of contribution from your end, and whatever sign your partner might be, if there is a partner in your midst that has constantly complained about lack of contribution from your end, and I pulled out these cards to qualify what the Tower refers to. I do feel that a, a new sense of kind of like putting yourself in the other's shoes is going to be in order here, okay? Because I do feel that if your partner is complaining about this, and you can always think back and see if there's any validity to what they're saying. If they're telling you that, like, you know, I do put in a lot of the legwork in this relationship, I plan everything, and you know, I need you to chip in to help. And the only danger of that is, you know, this might not be something that you're aware of because you're kind of bogged down with other things. And I know with a lot of Aries, you don't really like look at the details. And for you, you're a very generous sign. Fire signs in general, you are very generous. So you don't really keep tabs of who's doing what. And it's not in your vocabulary to keep tabs and to be petty. But because of it, you might overlook, like, you know, truths that the other party has been probably saying for years. So there is that element of, you know, not sitting back, and not holding yourself, or not, I guess, like, you might overlook that there are imbalances in the relationship. You know, you might not have realized. So this concept here of, you know, the Eight of Swords, which indicates, you know, being left in the dark, not knowing where you stand with other people, and this energy in a situation where your past relationship partner has complained that you're not putting in the work. I do feel for that small minority of you, this is something that is like coming out of the left field, and you have to really take some time to mold it over and, you know, rehash the past and see how, if there's any validity to what they're saying. And I do feel that is going to be something that allows you to navigate the situation, okay? Because these two cards relate to what the Tower refers to. So it's something that you're not aware of, something coming into the picture that you're not aware of, that could be problematic, but once made aware of it, you are going to be able to change the way you approach this situation, you approach this partner. And there is at least going to be communication regarding, you know, how you can fix things, or how you can bring, I guess, like, balance the scale, especially if it's give or take, okay? Like, who's doing what in the relationship, who's doing all the legwork, who's contributing what. And, you know, those things don't really matter in the grand scheme of things when you're in love, but they do cause a lot of resentment in long-term established relationships between people. People, it sense imbalances very, very acutely. And there's always, like, you know, overt or covert ways to rectify these imbalances, and people don't always operate at their best when they try to correct them. So it's important to just have a discussion, but, you know, having that channel of communication open is going to be vital more than anything. So I do feel a little bit of a carefree energy about you for this month. And I do feel that, especially on the work front, things are actually going really well in terms of financial payout. In terms of, like, overindulgence and possibly procrastinating until the very last minute, that's one other thing I want to warn you about, because what I'm sensing here is just, you know, a lot of socializing, a lot of fun, a lot of like good tidings coming through. It's like the only phrase that I can think of. So you're kind of like floating in the clouds, and you're feeling quite good, actually. And a lot of you might be dating an air sign, okay, like an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. And for some reason, this air sign is kind of like drawing you out of your comfort zone, which feels really nice, and it's always empowering to take that first step to do something that is not usually like in our habit to do. So you're feeling quite good at this point, and because of it, I guess like real world responsibilities are kind of like cast aside, okay? And then what happens is towards the end of the month, you're looking back and you have all these things that you need to catch up on, and time is limited. So that's the other danger I want to warn you about, okay? But aside from that, I do feel that it is going to be a really nice month. You have the wish card as well. So whatever it is that you've been hoping for, and I do feel like if it's related to fertility, if it's related to like family planning and things like that, it is going to require a big discussion. But things, or at least your partner, will come around to your way of doing things, okay? One last thing is that I do feel there are going to be your partner, well, your in-laws, or your mom, your dad, your immediate family, especially like mother and father figures, are going to be like in the picture affecting your relationship as well for this month. So if there has been like recurring patterns within family dynamics, such as the wife is like always at home cooking, and the father is feels very entitled to come home and just lounge around and never ever help with the housework, even though they both work. I do feel that whole gender role stereotypes and things like that will creep into the picture, and the way that you're socialized and the household that you grow up in, and the gender roles that you kind of like see in your parents might be different from that of your spouse. So there might be conflict regarding what is appropriate for a man to do, what is appropriate for a woman to do. So there needs to be that discussion, and especially I do feel that if it's specifically in a family type of situation or in a family type of dynamics in which you're kind of deciding on like who does the housework. We both work, we both have a 9 to 5 job. When we come home, is it fair for the woman to always cook and clean and things like that? So this situation needs to be discussed in a significant relationship. I do feel a lot of you, just because of this card, it's a family oriented card, and it's also like suppressing the feminine. So, and it's also next to the King of Wands, but he is in the right upright position. So whoever it is that you're in the relationship with, I do feel that they were brought up a certain way, and childhood conditioning is like years and years in the making. So whatever it is that we've experienced as children, whatever it is that we see in our own family dynamics, those are the things that we're going to emulate when we get into relationships with other people. So they're like long established patterns and ways of behaving that are really hard to shake. So rest assured that whoever it is that you're in a romantic relationship with, that you are thinking possibly of going getting possibly living together or getting married with them, I do feel there's that element of childhood upbringing and things like that coming to the picture in which you're not seeing eye to eye. So this discussion needs to be had, and then a shift in paradigm is going to come through as a result of this communication breakthrough between the two of you, okay? So that's like the major energy I do feel coming through. And there's also this element here, and this is not going to apply for everyone, but I do feel that there is, okay, so a lot of you might be dealing with like a mother figure who has been, who has been unfairly treated by her ex-spouses or her ex partners in the past. And with it, she's bringing, she's well-intentioned, but she's bringing in kind of like a suspicious, a sort of like negative energy, and it's affecting the way you view relationships in general. So a lot of you might be dealing with like a mother figure who has been very jaded with life, and she's trying her best to protect you the only way she knows how, and that is, mothers are always telling their sons and daughters to be careful. And you know, especially with someone who's been through a lot in her life specifically. And she will tell you to be like suspicious, and you know, there's no basis for that, because she doesn't understand that you are dealing with a different set of people, and her life experience is, you know, specific only to her. So it's just different. It might be inappropriate for her to bring all these suspicions into your relationships. So there's that element of like family members meddling in a very good relationship that has a lot of stability, and because of it, people are just like kind of kind of like just people meddling in your relationship, especially like family members. So it's a little bit troublesome, but I do feel, you know, in all relationships, communication is going to be required in order for any success, and any in order for people to be like in successful and stable and healthy relationships. So that needs to be addressed. Anything that comes up for this month needs to be addressed, and it needs to be done in a way that will private reading. Please click the box below. All my information regarding my website and my email address can be found underneath